Alright, y'all, another episode of Car Confessions with Cooke&Kat. And I was on social media, and that's not a thing, I've seen it before or whatever, but let's talk about appropriate places to take a first date.
Oh, we should have had saved the list. Do you still have it?
It's on my phone.
So I think we can. What it says, like Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory, Wingstop, the gym,
Netflix and chill.
Netflix and chill, Red Lobster,
the house, a long drive.
A long drive. What else do they say?
There's some other places, but I'm like, just, you know, they're just naming a lot of restaurants, a lot of sporting events.
Oh yeah, sporting events.
There's some other
movies.
Oh, the movies. Yeah. Ice cream parlor.
Ice cream parlor.
At the lights.
So
turn left onto Fairburn Road.
I think a lot of things
right
were viable options,
West.
in my opinion, if it's a first date, coffee shop, stuff like that or whatever. What I didn't agree with was is a viable first date, like the gym, only if you know, if you're both workout people.
You're into fitness.
Yeah, if you're into fitness, I think that's a suitable first date. Netflix and chill, first date, no. A long drive, no.
No, because the person could be crazy.
I don't think Wingstop would be a good first date.
No, Wingstop.
Due to
the environment.
Yeah, the environment. It's not conducive for one-on-one learning. They said lounges and bars,
hookah bar,
yeah,
and lounges. I don't think that's a good spot either.
No.
One is too loud.
Exactly. Too loud.
You're not gonna be able to have that connection with the person.
Yes.
But if there is certain like lounges and bars where you can kind of have like a walk up, sit down bar kind of thing, and that could be like more so like a little, you know, a little intimate, depending on what type of bar it is. So I would say bar only if it depends on what type of bar.
Yeah, if it's not like a bar that's blasting music.
Yeah, blasting music, then that's okay. Cool. Yeah.
Hell, I even think, you know what I'm saying, they've got to put on there like bookstores and stuff.
Oh yeah, bookstores are good.
Yeah.
Like even if they said the places that so these were the places that you shouldn't take a date, like Cheesecake Factory, all that other stuff. I think those places are perfectly fine. Like I love Cheesecake Factory. Like I'm not bougie enough to where it's to the point where you ain't gonna take it. If somebody's like, oh, we're going to Cheesecake Factory, I'm gonna put my nose up at it. Like, okay, if that's your standard, then that's your standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not knocking the girls that do, the girlies that do. You know what I'm saying? That's to each his own, and I get it. But for me, I don't see why not Cheesecake Factory. You're getting to know that person. That's the whole point of a first date. You're getting to know that person. You're getting to see how they operate in, you know, in real life situations. Now when it comes to like Applebee's, I wouldn't choose Applebee's, one, because I don't like Applebee's, but other than that, all the other places I wouldn't mind.
Yeah. My thing is the restaurants like the Old Charlie's, Applebee's, Cheesecake Factory, all that stuff or whatever, I think they're fine. One, because most of the time the man is paying for the date anyway. Right. So I don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, women have this standard of, well, you gotta take me to like Chris Ruth's or something like that. First of all, I ain't taking you to no expensive ass restaurant. For what? One, going to a restaurant anyway, I don't even like restaurants on the first date. I would do them, well, I have done them, but I don't like them because I like to talk to the person and get to know the person. Most of the time you're just sitting there eating or whatever. You got all these other distractions or whatever. So like a coffee date, an ice cream date, if it's, you know, warm outside, stuff like that. Even like a picnic or something simple, you know what I'm saying, where you get to a walk in the park, you know. And I'm not trying to be like cheap or frugal or whatever, but I think it's just the point of getting to know the person. And then we've gotten into society where, you know, nobody wants to get to know anyone and they want to impress people. So why are we sitting here that we're trying to impress someone? When expensive restaurants and stuff like that, first of all, the median income of anyone, you know what I'm saying, is average. And most people fall within the average income. So why are we spending all this extra money? I don't even know a person. I think expensive restaurants should be, you know, used what they were for back in the day, for special occasions for something. graduation, anniversary, some type of anniversary, some type of celebration, momentum thing, and the fact that you know this person. I don't know this chick. I'm like, well, I'm gonna be spending all my hard-earned money on for her for just to impress her? No. You should be.
Some men don't mind that. You know, it's like roof Chris for somebody or Chris Roof, whatever the hell is that.
They not doing that like 24/7.
Not 24/7, but some men don't mind taking you out to like, you know, an expensive restaurant. Depends on how your funds is looking, I guess.
Again, I just said most people are in the average income threshold, so they using it. They not just like the ones who got it or whatever. If they're accustomed to doing that and they do that for themselves all the time, cool, that's them. But it's like 5, 6, 7, 8% of the population.
Right.
The rest of the population is a working, hard-working class population. They ain't got time to be going on 4 different dates where it's $300-$400, where it's $1,200 in a month. Ain't nobody doing that. They doing it to impress. They trying to, you know what I'm saying, those men are trying to, like, you know, basically get the panties and stuff or whatever. Especially on the first date, I'm like, come on. To me, it just makes no sense from an economic standpoint. Why would you even want to spend that type of money on someone you don't even know?
Some people don't mind.
I'm saying it still don't make no sense though. Why would you want to spend that type of money? You spending that type of money, that's like you just going into a grocery store or whatever and buying somebody's grocery bill. You gonna walk up to somebody and just pay for their groceries? You don't know them. Well,
if I was trying to do a good deed, I might.
Yeah, if you try to do a good deed or whatever for your soul or whatever.
Like, just random? Maybe not.
I'm not spending. I wouldn't expect nobody to spend that money on me.
What, $300?
Yes, on a first date.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'm just saying, that's just me though.
Yeah.
Again, to each their own or whatever, but I don't see the logic behind it. Like, again, you're just using it to impress someone. That's all you're doing. And then how are you supposed to keep that up? And then, what do you do after that? Let's say you do have a connection with that person or whatever. So every time you go out, are you supposed to spend $400-$500 on a meal?
Yeah, that is true. I was gonna, yeah, because you gotta keep that same energy.
Exactly. So now you just set the bar so high that you're competing with yourself, and you know you can't keep that up.
Well, it depends on if you have the funds. If you're the type of man that has the funds to do that, and you have the $300-$400 like $300-$400 at each time in a restaurant, and then you can keep that up, then
again,
by
those
all
type
means.
of men, that number does not. I'm like, again, they won't be watching this, and nor does the dating scene apply to them in this particular manner.
Oh, you trying to say that people who watch this is broke?
No, what I'm trying to say, no, I'm not saying broke. I'm saying hardworking people who don't have no funds, discretionary funds to just spend on anything.
That is true.
I'm like, no one wants to talk about the economics of this. Like the real economics, the real numbers. I'm like, you can pull all this data from Census Bureau and stuff like that.
So my thing is, the people who had who did the surveys, I want to know what were
You've entered the car park
appropriate type of restaurants or activities to do when it comes to dating. Like what did they think that what was appropriate? That's what I want to know.
Right.
Most of those are again based off who puts it out or whatever. From what I've seen, it'll be like the woman making the post or whatever, and then it'll be the expensive restaurants. They want to go to the higher end establishments. They want to go to places, you know what I'm saying, where you spending like $150, $200, whatever. I'm like, why are you? Well, first of all, why are you eating so much on a particular date like that anyway? Like you ain't ate in 3-4 days. Like, cause I'm like, I've seen some crazy videos. Chicks inviting other people to the dates or whatever. Chicks coming in and they ordering for their kids and stuff like that. Trying to order like 3-4 meals. And then on top of that, I believe that if you can't afford to take yourself out on that particular date like that yourself, you shouldn't count somebody else's pockets and expect them to either.
Yeah. Because I'm not going on a date where I feel like, God forbid, something happens and dude ain't paying, we just not clicking, and he just being a dick and an asshole, just leave me. So I want to be like, all right, I'll pay for my shit. Like, you gotta get your shit together. Like, you know?
Exactly. So I'm like, you know, I just don't believe in like having a standard of, you know, these are unacceptable or whatever. I'm like, to me, that's crazy. Moderately priced stuff is fine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, I don't think restaurants should be the first date, really.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, people should really want to get to know someone. And this, oh, we could do this one. Really get to know someone, so you should have something that's not going to be distracting.
Yeah.
You should do a coffee date. You should do, like, you know, a little ice cream date.
They did say bowling. I think bowling will be good. Maybe a little competition. I think bowling is good.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a fun activity where you can still talk to each other in between. You know what I'm saying?
Like
rolling the ball and stuff.
bowling, mini golf.
Yeah, something like that. A little putt-putt golf or something.
Like arcades.
That too. Because you're interacting with one another.
Right.
You don't have all these other different distractions and stuff like that. Like walking in the park and stuff like that when it's, you know, nice out and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Restaurants don't, you know, like I said, I've been on some restaurants first time dates or whatever, but I also talk. So I'm making sure that, you know, I get to know the person or whatever in between the food coming and they're eating, I'm eating, all this stuff or whatever. Do I think they're the best spot? No. But then, you know, you got a lot of people who use restaurants as an excuse because they don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Like, some people just don't know how to talk. There we go. So, and they need those social skills, whatever, but having these standards of high restaurants being first date, nah. You don't know that person. You shouldn't be, like, you know what I'm saying, expecting that, especially if you can't do for yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there. Just like, what was that thing we had talked about?
Oh yeah, the girl who
had to call her mom.
Oh yeah, call her mom for the
funds,
or whatever. She went to the Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, she invited the dude out on a date. At a Mexican restaurant.
How much money can you spend there? That was the question. I guess if you get a lot of apps and stuff. I wonder how much was the bill.
But you really, I'm like,
but
really
I think the person who asked should pay.
Yes, I do agree with that.
So if you're asking me, you should pay.
Yes.
If I ask you, then I should pay.
Yes, that's the rule of thumb.
Them's the rules.
Yes, those are the rules. But you should never go out on a date or whatever.
Unless you have to have money. You have to have your own.
Exactly, because you never know what's going to happen. You'll know until that bill comes if you're really going to be paying for it. Because, you know, there's some people out there want to impress or whatever. They ain't got the wallet for it, so they'll go out on a date just to, you know, fulfill that need of, I was out with, you know what I'm saying, this type of person or whatever, this beautiful woman, whatever the case may be, and then make up something where they be like, you know what, they put blame on the chick, and then they don't pay for stuff. Yeah. They just order, like, you know what I'm saying, smaller stuff, run to the little waiter or whatever, pay their tab, and then they bounce. Yeah. And they, you know what I'm saying, come up, create a scenario to where, you know what I'm saying, they make it seem like the date ain't going well and all that stuff, whatever, so, and, you know, like, it's too much trickery nowadays. It's a lot of trickery.
It is.
No, I'm talking about trickery in both sense.
Yes.
People tricking and people tricking.
Tricking and tricking?
Tricking and tricking. That's what they doing. Tricking and tricking. But yeah, I can't get down with the fine dining experience or whatever as a first date.
No,
I can't. I would never.
No, first we went to the coffee restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you agree?
And I was about to pay for my own stuff, so I wasn't expecting you to pay.
Yeah, exactly. I suggested a coffee spot. You said cool. I knew then. I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? I knew then that the way you thought about it was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, coffee is fine. I want to get to know a person. We get to the coffee shop. You know, of course, you know, I had to go look for the parking or whatever, and then I got that little phone call or whatever. And then we go in, we order the coffees and stuff. You was reaching for your wallet. I was like, I could pay for the coffee. It was only like, what, $12, something like that.
I think it was less than that.
Whatever it was. So I paid for it or whatever. And then we sat down, enjoyed the coffee or whatever. You know, you didn't want anything else, you could have got a pastry or something like that. And we talked for like, what, 2.5 hours? Basically. So really getting to know one another. And I think that's what dating should go back to. You're supposed to get to know a person. Not impress a person. Because to me, you're lying. Because Because if you take a girl out on a date and you basically trying to impress her.
No. Why does they both have on tan? You shouldn't wear that color if you look all the same. It's like they the same skin tone, same hair.
Yeah.
Sweater and pants.
Yeah.
And then she got on tan too. Nah.
But yeah, it's hilarious. You're lying because your pocket's not going to sustain that. You're doing it to impress. Women are having it done to them, so they're now raising the bar because they was able to, like, okay, finagle or whatever. However the situation happened to where they benefited from going out on the first date and it being a fine dining experience. So now they're looking for every date to do that. So now they're setting the bar high or whatever, and everybody's not created equal financially. But then that person who did it or whatever, they ain't gonna keep being able to do that. Because I'm like, you know, again, you get to know a person. That can be multiple dates. I'm like, we had lots of dates. And I'm like, just think every day we went on, if it would have been like a $300 date experience. Yeah.
I would be expecting that all the time.
Exactly. It did.
Maybe. Maybe I'm not the type of person. Not me.
Well, not you,
I'm
whatever.
not, because I'm not that
though,
type.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, wait a minute. What the hell you do? Were you selling drugs?
Exactly. You won't be able to have dates like that selling drugs. Gotta be out to be selling drugs.
Yeah.
I mean, in order to, people keep forgetting, in order to make big money, you gotta have time committed to it. I'm like, you can't have little time to make big money. I'm like, unless you got a business where it's already established and all this other stuff, and I know that could go into a whole nother spin of the conversation or whatever, but just base reality, to have big money, you gotta have time committed to it. So you're not gonna have time to go out here and, you know, just date like that or whatever.
Yeah. So, Applebee's cheesecake.
All that stuff is fine.
It's fine. Ice cream. Coffee shops. Bowling. Putt-putt.
Yeah.
Arcade.
Yeah. Nothing that's too distracting.
No.
Ain't no Netflix and chill for first day. You don't get to know.
No, you're not coming to. He ain't come to your house. I'm not coming to your house.
Yeah.
No driving in your car for a long time, because who the hell does that? That's fucking crazy. Yeah, exactly.
No bars.
No bars.
Yeah, as far as the loud music stuff.
No hookah stuff.
No hookah. I'm like
nothing like that.
You can't really get to know.
And no movies.
Exactly. No movies. Because I'm like, you watching the movie, how you gonna really get to know each other?
Right. I'll let you do like dinner and then you do a movie maybe.
Yeah.
But still, I think still with no movies. Not on the first date.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. But yeah, so that's what I think.
Yeah, so I'm like, we're in agreement. Like, you know, across the board on that.
Yeah.
I still think, you know what I'm saying, you should just keep it simple. That KISS model, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it cute.
And get to learn the person.
Right,
so.
exactly, because you can't get to know with someone, you know, Netflix and chilling.
Okay.
I mean, you can get to know somebody when you're driving for a long drive, but
it's just weird though.
It's just weird.
Because
like,
how you trust somebody like that?
Right.
It's like you're building up trust with this person.
Yeah.
Because you're on guard.
Yeah,
when you meet a person, you're on guard anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, and you have to peel back those layers of, you know what I'm saying, being on guard with this person to figure out whether or not this person is even, like you said, not a crazy and stuff like that. And, you know what I'm saying,
and that goes for both parties.
Yeah.
Because say if I was crazy, like you won't want me in your car for no hour-long drive. Like, hurry me, get this bitch out of my car.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But
drop you off right at the gas station. Gonna find your way back home.
Be tough out here. But y'all keep following the channel, subscribing, share with your folks, things, all that or whatever.
Oh, look at it faded out too.
It's
just in time.
Yeah. It's been another episode of Car Confessions. Oh,
you tired?
Oh no, hold on.
Are you sleepy?
Oh, that's the way I sound.
Yeah.
You took a lot of my energy.
No, I didn't. Stop
you took a lot of my energy.
You should have got rest.
I did. I got some. You know you're irresistible.
I am.
You are. You're irresistible. Oh, we do a car confession.
I don't even know if we have one.
Well, I guess my car confession. Well, have I really took somebody out on a date like that? No. Have I ever done like a I ain't done no like.
Oh yeah, have you ever done a Netflix and shit like first date?
Mm-hmm.
Like a date where you had like a one night stand attached to it?
I've not done a one night stand first date. I've done a one night stand.
But not a like you had dinner and then you go back to my place.
We didn't have dinner and nothing like that. We just got into it.
Yeah.
We both understood what the assignment was.
Yeah, yeah. So not like a one night, like a one night stand. One night stand. Y'all meet, smash, scrape.
But I've never had like a date situation.
A date and then have sex afterwards.
No, I ain't never done that. Depends on who it was or whatever. Then I could have considered it. But that's a thing for me as far as like, you know, how I'm feeling in the moment. It's not like something I just automatically do just because I'm a male.
Yeah.
I do have some standards. So.
Do you though? No, sorry. Have I never had a dinner then like a one night stand?
Got some morals and principles about yourself.
I try to, you know. I can't be hoeing out here in these streets.
No.
So.
Exactly, because you know.
Can't be outside.
Yeah, people who do that give off that energy.
Yeah, I'm not knocking them, you know, to each his own. I'm not trying to judge anybody because, you know, maybe you had that really connection with them and that's fine. That's what you want to do. Everyone's an adult and you make your own decisions. You make your bed and you lie in them.
Well, if you're doing it too much though, whatever, that means you don't like connect with people in general though.
Yeah, it's hard to connect with that person. So, but to each his own.
Yeah, get it in, you know, get it used, get it in, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, follow the page. And then, you know, check the Facebook page for all of our other different content that we'll be posting on there. And keep supporting. And one day y'all gonna see Kat.
Maybe.
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 Trust me, I'm not an ugly guys. I'm just letting y'all know.
No, she's not ugly by any stretch of the imagination.
I just don't want to show my face.
Yeah, she want to be a mystery.
Yes.
So y'all one day, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's up to Kat. Kat gotta do that.
Maybe.
Maybe.